There we go. Not going to forget that again. So how are your shows, Barry?
Mm. Well, first of all, I did this garage sale, and that was a mistake. It was all bottom feeders,
Bonnie's going to be here later.
$5 and $10. I had nothing under 100, so that was a problem. When you come from Coconut Grove, and really most of Florida, back to Michigan, it's tough because they have real money there. Michigan's a third world country now.
Come on.
You weren't there, I'm telling you. Ridiculous.
There.
It's ridiculous how much money there's in Florida.
Oh, in Florida.
Now, I'm not voting for him, but it's why DeSantis is going to be the Republican nominee and probably will win the election.
So why will he win the election?
Because the economy in Florida is really, really booming. And that has a lot to do with who gets elected. Ask Oscar. He just came from there. Anyway, my Florida shows were good. Well, they weren't all good, but Coconut Grove was really good. So, plus, I have a different perspective on Fort Myers because somebody took me down to Fort Myers Beach where the devastation was, that area, and it pretty much where all the, they used to have like the beach was really cool, and then they had restaurants and trinket shops and bars and stuff that you could sit at, on the beach. It was kind of a party atmosphere. That all got wiped out. I mean, there was nothing. It was gone. And then, you could actually see the beach. And then on the other side of the street, all those buildings are abandoned because of the water damage, and they haven't gotten close to. It was so devastating. They hadn't gotten close to, to fixing it up. To taking care of the whole thing. I saw boats, like $1 million boats, all crammed together that were totally destroyed, blown together. I saw boats that had been lifted out of the water and thrown, I don't know how far, into a field by the side of the road. It looked like how like a car crash, like when the car crash and it goes off the road, just into the side. That's how. I saw boats like that. It was amazing. So in retrospect, and you know what, Sharon didn't really mention. She didn't really talk about it too much, and didn't when you think when I think about it, under the circumstances, it was really good because the week after or 2 weeks after, it was where was I? Bonita Springs, and all those people said, "Well, I'd like to buy something, but I don't. We haven't gotten their insurance money. They haven't gotten their money. They haven't had any work done on their houses yet." So, so when you look back, I guess they did a good job based on the circumstances in Fort Myers. So there. So I was a little, I was a little wrong about it because I thought, well, everything would be great by now. So I'm sure it had a lot to do with sales over on that side. That ended up being the best show out of the 3 that I did over there. So that's my take. But listen, the first day of Coconut Grove was like the old days. It was nonstop selling from morning till night. So
Wow.
that made up for anything else that went on.
Ask her, does your neck hurt?
No, I figured out after the fact. I figured out what was wrong. I went playing pool, tried to play pool on Tuesday before Naples, and I felt the pain in the shoulder really bad, and didn't went away until it took almost a week to recover. I still get pain in here and there, but it's not as bad. So, but
Are you at home
I
now?
was no, I'm in Orlando. I couldn't, I need a break from the camping ground. It's too much time in the band.
Too much drama.
Well, that and other things. I just it's it got too hot now. It's like almost 90 degrees every day, and
Yeah.
it's cooling not every night, but it's too hot to be outside that many days and no have chance to recover. And the bugs are everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
Hey, I considered it a success. I missed all the bugs this year. Last year they loved me.
Oh, I should have let you park it right there and let the ants eat you.
I
That's
know,
what.
and you know what? It's one of the reasons why it's really bad is over by Wayne and Isabel's place. It's
Yeah,
horrible. Yeah, I avoided all that this year.
yeah. It's just like you know, you have to put when you're in the camping ground, you have to put the errant and flea bug at the same time. It's just like a story. If not, just screw. But
I know.
so I got one
Well,
more,
go
and then
on. One more show,
one more show.
which would be.
So, backup ranch.
Oh no, you're doing that?
Oh yeah,
Have you done it before? Did you do it before?
no, first time.
They're trying to get people to do it.
Yeah. So it's only 50 artists. I already know one artist that might not be there. So
Whose
we
show
was
is
talking
it?
about backup ranch.
Yeah, whose show? Who's the promoter?
Oh my goodness. I know that somebody helped with the promotion, so I'm going to stay away from that conversation.
Yeah, I know. I started to say something and I thought I better not say anything. I hope it's good. You know?
I hope to, at least to meet my standards, the bare minimum. If I can walk out of there with a couple of grand, maybe 3 grand, I will be happy. Yeah.
It's a
So,
new development, so relatively
yeah,
new.
it's people I keep saying there's not that many sales in there. It's really hit and miss. So,
As it becomes more established, you know,
oh, it's the
it'll be
fifth.
big.
I think it's the fifth year.
Really?
I will get there and I will see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm dying to go home. I'm going to say the Bonita. I cannot know if Bonita 2 would have won better. I'll probably be at home by now.
That was horrible.
Yeah. So,
It
and
was
Coconut Grove,
shockingly bad.
Coconut Grove was good, but I needed to go a little bit better. And then Bonita 3 this weekend I just got lucky.
Bonita
That
3?
show,
You did
yeah.
that?
Yep.
Was it better than 2?
It was better than 2, but traffic was about the same.
What about the quality of the patrons?
I would say that was probably equally or worse.
Oh no, it couldn't have been worse.
Yeah, because at that point it's mostly local. You don't have that many people out of town doing in there.
Yeah.
And it's hot. It was like 87 degrees, but it felt like 99 degrees both days.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, Bonita too had really good weather. We had good weather.
yeah, but this was horrendous.
Did you set up in the wind on Friday or did you wait?
No, set up in the wind. It's not a big deal. You know, there's some when you just set it up when basically what you do, you don't put your vinyl up if you don't have to. You just raise the tent, lift, open the bands, put the weights, put the stabilizer bars, and then you start putting the once I put the weights and the stabilizer bar, the tent doesn't move. So and then that is just raising out the panels one wall at a time, and it goes really smoothly. But there was people that they having a hard time with it. But, depends how you do it. But it was dying by 4 o'clock. It died. The wind died, so it was easy.
Yeah, we went then, but my
That's-
neighbor, her whole tent moved and she had a craft hut. It moved like 7 or 8 feet back. It just moved the whole tent. That was pretty.
Yeah.
Not
So
so
how
good.
you did?
That's windy.
So I was
So
on the
how-
street this time because I asked for the street because I thought everyone said the street's better because I was in the park by Oscar last time, and I'm not really sure. I think I was in the bad part of the street, but people still did really well around me, so I don't know that it matters. But because people were telling me they had their best ever, I was like, oh my. But I mean, it was nice not to be in the dirt, I guess, because it was so dusty because it hasn't rained. So it was kind of nice that way. But I was like opposite end of where I was last time. So kind of at one of the entrances. I don't know.
So you did better?
No, I did not do better. I did a
It's a
little,
shame.
yeah, not quite as much as the other one. So I don't know. I don't know if it was just so hot. I don't know if that kept a lot of people, because I didn't see a whole lot of traffic after about 1.
Yeah, that's the same way I thought it for me. After 1 o'clock, it died each day. So, but we see. Still was I managed to I pull it off. I did better than Bonita too, but I just got really lucky. So,
That's good.
but it's not. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great neither. It's probably the worst Bonita 3 I have in there in the last 3 years.
Well,
Easily.
Barry Witt's not running it anymore, so
I don't think that the girls are doing a bad job neither. It's like, but I heard that people are not doing advertising for the show for the second and the third one. They only do advertising for the first one. So I really don't know. So we see.
But everybody around me was talking about Naples National and how good it was. So
Oh,
that's
I-
all relative.
yeah, I will tell you. I also talked to a lot of people in Naples National that did horrible.
Yeah.
oh,
It was like that show. It seems like you did really, really good or you did really, really bad.
well,
It
what
was
did
not-
your friend do that you were helping? What did he have?
He did a super, super, super good show.
But what does he do? What kind of art does he have?
Photography.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny. I really don't like none of the stuff in the walls they have. I really excite me at all. So I don't say that I don't dislike it, but it doesn't impress me neither.
Well, I can explain it. You get into Coconut Grove and he never does.
Yeah, I know. He used
So
to get off, but he changed his body of work a lot.
still,
So
he appeals to the masses.
so I just but he did really good. He and Wayne did really good in Naples. Uh, but then Tim, the painter next to me, he did really bad. Uh, he was in Bonita. He was telling me that it was one of his worst shows ever. And I don't know about other people, but he was saying like a lot of people in the park didn't do as good as the people in the street, and it was a mixed bag. So
If it's really hot, the park. Oh, you talking about Naples?
yeah,
If it's really hot, then the park it's cooler, so there's a benefit there.
but you still don't get the traffic in the park. It's kind of funny in that show. Like you really want to be free for Naples. So and the director for Naples was in Bonita 3 also showing his work. So it's interesting. Why are you laughing, Larry?
It brings back memories. Boston
Oh.
Mills.
Boston Hills.
Yeah,
That's when they're coming
Ron used
back.
to take a spot on the second weekend. He was the director.
Who?
Ron
Who?
Bean. He used to
Bean.
take a spot on the second weekend, which was the better weekend.
Huh.
But isn't that why the guy in Fort Worth started that new show? So his girlfriend would be able to exhibit there?
I don't know about that, anything like that. I wouldn't know about stuff like that.
Sundance Square.
No idea.
No, I thought he owned the area, so he
Right,
decided
he
to do
did.
it. So he decided to have locals there, which totally messes up the show, because they can have locals 51 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, I know.
And the whole thing about Fort Worth is it's the best of the best, or that's how they sell it. So if you have
Not
a bunch of
anymore.
locals, you can't make.
Hey, I remember I used to do Muskegon July 4th weekend.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's scary.
the year the Arts Center took it over, the director's brother stapled his photographs to a telephone pole and he won Best in Show.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't surprise me for two reasons. It's Muskegon and it's Michigan. Which is now a third world country.
Why Michigan is the world country?
There have been so many cases like that over the years.
I know.
So what you having for lunch, Barry? Or that's your dinner?
Thai food. Actually, I got it at 3:00. So, and I didn't really have lunch. So it's okay. So brunch is breakfast and lunch. So what would be dunch? Dunch, dinner, and
Dinner
it's
and
the-
supper are two different things.
I know,
So
But
one
I'm
would
com-
be dinner and the other would be supper.
but I'm getting. Oh, that's right. Well, it depends on who you are, how you describe it. So it'd be sunch or dunch. Or I wanted it now because I didn't want to wait till 6 o'clock to go over there and
I
get
think
it.
it's tea.
Punch,
It's at 4 o'clock,
few times.
tea time.
Or it's just an early dinner.
I'll be hungry at 9 o'clock at night.
No, I don't eat at 9 o'clock at night.
And you'll be hungry at 9 o'clock at night. You eat that early.
At 9 o'clock at night, since I got back from Florida, I can barely keep my eyes open at 9 o'clock at night. I'm still tired. I've been back a week and I'm still tired. I look like you. You're laying down. You look like you're tired.
Uh, it's time to recover, my friend. That's the main reason when I came over here. Drove 3 hours just to have a bed.
Yeah.
A real bed. And the air conditioner.
In fact, I should have known it wasn't your house because you'd have two cats sitting on top of you if you were home
Oh,
after being away for a month. Or
So
2
we
months,
have
I
a
guess.
new attendee today, and what are we talking about?
who's the new
Food
attendee?
and air conditioning and
There's no new attendee here, Frank.
hmm?
Nobody new here. I don't think so. Oh,
Different people with
I'm
the
so-
same name.
I'm sort of new. I'm not here
Oh.
every week.
I don't think that you knew by any means of the word, Christy.
Yeah, you're not new.
Okay.
I'm old.
You're old like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Old timer.
Oh,
Bonnie has physical therapy, but she's going to try to make it.
Kristen,
No.
sometimes the conversations actually are very interesting.
I know.
oh. I wrote something in Facebook about the 10 shows, so I only have backup to go. And the trip it's been a good trip, no doubt about it. And I'm happy I came down.
Me too.
And the overall, I think that the only two, hopefully backup won't be like this, but I only had two bad shows. Literally was the first Sarasota with Bill Kenny, and then Bonita 2 was the second worst. After that, bare minimum was Bonita 3 and Patty's Bonita. Boca, I mean. Patty's Boca. But everything else was Naples Invitational was good. Boca Museum still my best. I don't know if it's my best show or the second best show this year because Naples Invitational was really good.
See,
Coconut
Boca's hit or miss. Boca's always hit or miss,
Boca's always been my best show. Boca Raton
Really?
Museum's my best show. In
Hmm.
Florida.
They like you?
Yeah, I always almost every single. I've been doing it so long now that now is. I'm just waiting for the day I hit the 5 figures. I always get really close, but no close. This year the weather didn't allow me to even push it to the limit. But so Coconut Grove, Boca, Naples are the 3 best one. So which one I'm missing? The Bonita 3. Oh, Bonita 1. It was good also.
Whose Boca show did he do?
I did Boca with Patty, then Boca Museum.
And the good one was Boca Museum?
Boca Museum.
Yeah.
Boca Patty, it's she really tries, but I hear mixed bag of things about her. Some people said that she doesn't do any advertising, uh, but she does that show every month from, I think, from this guaranteed from December to February. She always have one show, two shows in the same spot. So, um, you know, she lose her patience, I would say, with somebody that was breaking up early, and the artist was really, she haven't worst show ever, and she went off with her also. But that was not a pretty situation to be nearby. But uh, she's not attracting that many good artists to do her shows, so she's getting a lot of newbies, and they got this high expectation that are not realistic, and so I don't know, but it's interesting to see how people react sometimes to things. And part of the show was Bill Kenny also gave me a bad taste in the mouth, really bad. But
Somebody
So was the
complained
person.
about him today on Facebook.
what?
Somebody complained about him on Facebook.
Yeah, I know that was me and somebody. uh, and you know,
Well, somebody said that he was prejudiced.
It was what?
Prejudice.
that was, I didn't put it that I didn't say that.
Prejudice?
Yeah. And he's not.
He's not at all.
Not at all.
I didn't put it like I think that people took that way, but I didn't want to clear that back up. So I just said that I have a bad taste on his mouth, and that I was just didn't put names. There was a bunch of things in there that didn't specify who was, because I didn't want to name people. But it's so if people took it that way, that's on them. So I heard this trip. I heard people saying that I'm not from this country. That came from another artist.
Well, didn't it
And
start out with somebody that was gay?
oh, that was Michael Bryan. Say that.
No. Michael Bryant came in after the first post.
No, I didn't say anything about gay to me.
No, I know you didn't.
So I didn't say
But-
anything like.
But somebody said that they felt there was tension.
There's always tension with him, and
With
I
Michael?
know with Kenny.
Well,
Bill.
yeah, but I mean, that's because he doesn't hide the fact that he's from Brooklyn and he grew up that way.
Yeah, I understand, but that's,
He's gruff.
I understand.
That's the
Yeah,
word.
that's the everybody that all my friends that done shows with him said that that's how he is. They don't take it
course.
personal, but it still doesn't. My problem is like I don't. Me personally, I don't like to deal with that at the shows. I just don't. I deal with that in my regular basis. I don't want to be dealing with that at my workplace. So, and he shouldn't be like that. He's putting the show. It shouldn't be. Just behave properly. Be
What did
professional.
he say? What did he say?
It's a lot of things that he said doesn't say. It was indirectly to me. It was not directly to me, but it was like I was going like a dude. The first thing that he said to me was not to park next to the tree, but I was like, I need to park in this area because I need my solar panel to get some sun. I cannot park under the shade and just want to do whatever the hell you want, basically. And then he was complaining where the booth was located, and the booth was, I didn't set up the spot. They pick up the spot. I don't do the layout for the show. So, whatever problems you have, you better have a discussion with yourself. So, and then the other thing that came out, it was like And this was not directly told directly to me that my work there's no Florida team that's why I'm not doing well. And I'm going like, well, last year they really good in your show and didn't have less Florida stuff in there. So I was like taken back. The other thing that happened that was hilarious this year was I'm wearing my Cincinnati Red hat, and somebody thought that I was a member of a gang.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Tuppers,
you're a member of a gang, all right.
Yeah.
the
So
Make America Great Againers.
That's
Uh,
funny.
I was going like no, and I said, where's the guy located in Ohio? So like, well, I'm in Naples, right? So it doesn't matter right now. So and Rachel Barry was saying like, I don't know why you wear that hat. Then you have to ask stupid questions why you live in Chicago, and you wearing Cincinnati Red hat. And I going, well, at least I'm talking about baseball, not about the problems in the city of Chicago. Because as soon as you start talking about it, this only happens down here. They start talking about crap about the city. And I don't have time for that. I'm trying to figure out how to avoid that conversation with people. So, but
Ignore it.
yeah, but there's sometimes they keep poking you. So
Yeah.
it's you know, and it's funny. So but overall it was a good experience. I have a good time, and I really enjoyed every single minute when I've been down here. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully this weekend things go just bare minimum good, and then I'll be happy. So, but I was thinking about, I took everything out of the camping ground, driving over here to Orlando, thinking that I might even come back. I might just keep driving straight to Chicago.
Yeah,
So,
good idea.
well, I'm going to do the show. I already paid for it, and I already told commit to the show, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it. So you don't want to burn bridges neither. Next year, if I'm here with the camper, I'm going to probably stay longer. So, but from
So
what I heard so far,
somebody in the campgrounds gave you a hard time?
oh no, nobody in there give me a hard time.
I mean,
I- Nobody
last
there.
year there was a guy, with his RV there, and he had a big sign that says, "Trump is my president."
Oh, I'm probably still there, but
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I don't think about it. I just when I'm in the camping ground, you stay and it's going to be interesting because next year my spot is going to be away from Steve and George. It's in the opposite side of the park, and it's going to be interesting to see how it is in that area.
So you
So
rented a space?
yeah,
Did you
I
have to
already
take it
start
for
paying
all
for it.
year?
Yeah, because you do it like there's no guarantee. If you do it for 3 months, there's no guarantee you're going to have a space. And I don't want to. When I bring the camper, I'm going to live down here. I'm not going to take it upstairs back to Chicago with me.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it cost to rent for the year?
It's $335 a month. And if I go to park it in Chicago, it's going to cost me at least $500 a month.
Mm.
So I think that's how much it will cost me to park it down here.
Is the 3-month rate the same as the yearly rate?
Yeah, I think it's $1,500 for 3 months, which is half of the other year, because the other ones comes to what, to 3,600, little bit over that, and the other one 3 months is $500 a month
Yeah, that's what I
plus.
was asking.
Yeah, if you do 3 months, it's not guarantee you're going to get a space because the people that rented for the year have first take, obviously.
I get that. Yeah.
And then after that, you have the $500 a month, and there's a subcharge something that comes like almost $2,000 for 3 months, which is still cheaper than hotel, but
Yeah,
you're
it
in
is.
the middle of, you know, still in the middle of nowhere. Oh,
That's not a
I
bad
figured
thing.
out that no, it's not over there, because they give you time to. It's a quiet place. It's nice to stop and don't have to think about anything else. And being nearby to the beaches is not.
Florida's really crowded, for one thing. And over there, you're still close to the town. There's still a town real close. It's not that far from Fort Myers.
No, it's the funny thing on Monday when I was driving to the campground, the traffic coming out of LaBelle going to Fort Myers,
Yeah,
it was stop and go for almost from halfway to the town to Fort Myers. It was pretty bad.
really.
Like you don't expect it. I was like a double take because it was a long, 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 long line. It was like a 3 or 4 miles of back traffic.
That's actually the best way. It used to be the best way to get across the state as
Mhm.
opposed to doing Alligator Alley. There's a lot less traffic on that road across. There's not
It's
really.
still, if you, especially if you don't want to pay tolls,
Yeah.
that's a good go through it.
Yeah, less tolls,
And
less traffic.
less traffic and it's less stressful because from LaBelle you hit the next town going east, and then from there you next thing you know you end up in the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's like from the camping ground to Miami, I think it's 2 hours and a half. It's 2 hours to Boca, I think. It's an hour and 15 minutes to Fort Myers. It's an hour and a half to Sarasota. It's an hour and a half to Bonita, maybe 2 hours to Naples. So it's 3 hours to Orlando. So and Orlando's the farthest point you will go normally for a show. Going north. So
Unless you do Mount Dora.
yeah, Mandora, then Mandora you screw. I would. The problem that Mandora takes in isn't there's no good highway to Mandora. I know they start building it, but I don't know how soon they're going to finish it. So hey, Allison.
Hi there. The link
Oh.
wasn't working. Sorry to interrupt.
So it should be fun next year. I'm hoping. Assuming that I get to all the shows. Even if I don't get to the shows, I might still come down here to get away from the call. Oh. So,
What's wrong? You don't like winter in Chicago?
no, it's not the cold weather. You know what I don't like is to be indoors and I discovered that I don't like to be indoors from October to May and do only indoor stuff. I will go store crazy. It's a mental thing. I get really depressed when I stay that much time inside.
I don't
I
like the
understand
gray.
that.
I don't like the gray skies for days on end.
Yeah.
I mean, with
So
Florida, it's all sun all the time.
That's the thing that bugs me. It's not the cold weather. The cold weather is fine, and the snow is fine, and it's just that I want to be indoors all that time. It's just depressing. There's just
And
so
that
much.
the lack of sun and yeah, I remember East Coast winters. Ugh, Boston in February, horrible.
Um, and I'm hearing people that go out. Well, I start hearing more that people go out in Chicago in the middle of the winter just to see the sun for a little bit. They just make the conscious effort to go out now because it's time becoming an eight. I see more people talking about it more now. There's there's more a mental break than anything else. So I don't feel that awkward. So that's what I hearing a lot. So so I'm ready for Bayou City after Baca Ranch.
That's the one in Texas?
Yep.
And so how are you are you going home first? Is that it?
Yeah, going home for a week and then turn around and hit the road again.
Okay, so you don't have to drive through that whole other area, right? Or after that, maybe it was after that you were gonna have to drive to Florida again?
Yeah, after that I need to go to Atlanta, and I'm still debating if I'm going to go back home or. But Yana told me if I stay with her on Monday, we can leave on Tuesday. She's going to Fort Worth, and she told me you drive the same way they me, so you should be in Houston by end of Tuesday. So and just stay there for 1 or 2 days, and then go to San Antonio from there. So I might doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she was saying she told me, yeah, I don't blame you for not stopping all the way down there. Not the
Yeah,
best.
it looked like a scary route.
Yeah. So, but then after that, I'm waiting for South Lake. If South Lake says yes, then I'll be happy because I can do 2 shows in Texas and then go home for the weekend, go to Philadelphia, and then turn around to Illinois and do a show in Belleville.
Mhm.
And then I got 57, and then I got Old Town.
Mm-hmm.
And Ann Arbor didn't call me yet, Barry. So I need to call them to see what the hell's going on. I forgot to call them again.
What's the matter, Ann Arbor?
I don't know how to pay the guild.
Pay they take payments through PayPal, but did they send you a contract or
Nothing.
Call Nicole tomorrow.
I'm going to call. I forgot totally about calling her again today. Left a message last night. I didn't get a call back today.
Oh.
So I remember to call her at 6 o'clock because I was talking to Barry because I'm looking for the email to see if I missed something, but I didn't get anything. So
Yeah,
I know
told him to call.
I got a set to be a SAP, but I don't know. Didn't get anything else from there.
Look in your spam because
I always checking there already and didn't see
okay.
anything.
Okay.
So I will take a look again before I leave for dinner, but but that's the only show I got in July, and I waited for Madison, and then I got to Port Clinton, but I'm crossing my fingers that I do the West Coast trip. I really hope I can do it. So that was another thing that was really funny. Somebody asked me about if I was going to do Port Clinton, and I told them, if I get too high there, so they aren't the pro, there's no way in hell I'm going to miss opportunity to go over there, But they told me Amdor Production told me that I can pay for Port Clinton after the notification of the other two shows. So
When do we
um,
find out? When do we find out about those two West Coast
uh,
shows? Or well, one of the,
April 3rd.
yeah. Oh, so a while still.
Yeah, they both come
Yeah.
in April 3rd.
And then Sun Valley I applied to. I don't even think their application is closed yet. So it's going
No,
to be a
but
while.
Sun Valley doesn't interfere with anything else. You know, if I get to, and that's not a show that I would do a one-time trip. You know, if I don't get to Adler Pro, I'm not doing or if
Right.
I don't
I
want to go
have,
that.
yeah, I have Bend already. So if I got Sun Valley, and I have a clientele, I did that show for like 15 years, but not for the last couple of years. But if I get into that show, then I'd go to the Bay Area before Bend because there's a weekend in between, and it's like 7.5 hours from Oakland to Bend, and so that could work out. That could work out well.
Yeah, the idea was for me to just go out that week in between, probably go to Yellowstone or go back to Jackson Hole and photographing there for a week, and then go back to Bend.
You know, in Idaho, there's a lot of I don't know that there's any national parks in Idaho, but there's the Sawtooth Mountains. It's a really gorgeous area just above Sun Valley, and but anyway, a lot of beautiful places. And did you apply to Park City?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
you know
one
that
is a
it's really
while. What?
that's really hard to get in also. So
Well, I used to do Park City, and I don't know if it's changed, but the quality in that show was very mixed. Like there's some really great work, and then things that so I mean, hopefully it's better now. I don't know, but I know they nickel and dime you for everything.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's Uptown Affair, and sadly, what I hear from Uptown, the whole area has gone down the hill really bad. They're rebuilding, but it's probably like 2 years before it gets back to
Oh.
an area. And storing, according to Steve Work out the problem with the whole Minnesota, this is what I'm being told. I don't know if it's true. They just throw money to the area and then really don't support the area. So it has to be people will move to the area to revitalize the area. So, so like at that whole area, then people don't go anymore.
Oh.
So a bunch of high restaurants that was in the area just closed down this year, and then they had the empty spots. So we see.
So
I'm
much
planning on taking
influx.
off the end of next week to head up to see Parker in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Is it spring enough to go up there?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, for driving conditions, if anything.
There's the weather right now doesn't look like there's going to be any big storms or anything. So if it snows or rains or anything a little bit, it's no big deal.
Right.
So take a couple, 3 days to get up there and spend a couple days up there and take 2 or 3 days coming home.
So where do you pass through?
From here, I will probably go north up to the north edge of Kansas. Then I'm going to cut over and go up, and because there's a place I want to photograph again, the center of the geographic United States, a little chapel kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and then I'll head west a little bit and then up through Broken Bow, Nebraska. Probably stop in Alliance, Nebraska to do Carhenge, and then up into Rapid City. And then coming back, I'll go over into Wyoming and come south through Wyoming, into the northeast corner of Colorado and probably back into the southwest corner of Nebraska. And then down across US 36 across the north edge of Kansas.
It's a little detour.
Don't know if I'll hit. I may go to Nicodemus and Lucas on the way back. I don't know. Or I might reverse it and go out up through Wyoming and come back through Nebraska. I don't know. Depends upon the weather.
A lot of pretty country you'll be going through.
Yeah, I'm trying to maximize the number of small towns I go through. Working on my front porches and some churches, and I'm really disappointed. I've got to do some more research on Google Earth, but they took out the churches layer that I used to use to find rural churches.
I mean, ones that remain but aren't being used anymore.
In any churches. Google had a specific layer in Google Earth that was just churches. And there were, at least in Mississippi, there were churches on there where there was nothing but a foundation left and everything in between.
Well, what you might try, and I don't know if they have it online, but Delorme makes all those atlases show all kinds of things like churches and graveyards that you don't see anywhere pretty much but on topographic maps. And they may have an online presence, I don't know, but if not, just find the atlases and looking them over, you'll probably find a lot of stuff that may not have ever made it to Google. I've used
I have a few of them.
Yeah.
I have them for a couple states. I need to go through and see if they have the churches on there. The problem is Google redid Google Earth and they took a whole bunch of these overlay layers and data out.
Yeah. But I don't think that happened with Delorme, and the things that you find, old schools that are abandoned, you find all kinds of stuff on topographic maps that just elude everything else, everybody else, which is great.
But I've had pretty good luck with Google Earth. I get zoom in so I can see, maybe 5 or 6 miles either side of my route. And then if the church icon pops up, I can usually click on it. And a lot of times I'll have a photo of it. And I can tell if it's, a newer church, older church, something that's worth a stop.
Have a good trip.
But I've just barely started doing research. I mean, I'll spend probably a full day or more researching where I want to go.
Where is my iPad?
So Oscar, were the cats happy to see you?
I'm not home yet.
Oh, I thought you were home.
Nope. No home yet.
Next week?
Next week. Next week. They'll only go to see me for 7 days at the most.
The cat's probably changed the lock on the door, so you probably won't be able to get back in.
Oh. It's going to be interesting.
Cats are like that.
I have somebody paint the fireplace, and I got the cat sitter. They seem to be doing. I think, I will let you know next Tuesday, assuming that I've made it. I most likely will be home by Monday night. So.
Can you tell if the cats are running up your credit cards?
Oh.
Yeah, you don't need to go out anymore to do that.
Yeah. I guess that's why to turn off the power in the computer completely off.
PetSmart.
Yeah.
Or Chewy.
Yeah, my electric bill was $45 the last 2 months. So that was probably a good thing.
So they're not using your computer while you're gone then.
They kind of
They missed their peanut butter box.
Oh no, they don't have that neither. You know, you give that to the cats and you want to be in trouble.
Peanut butter. Cats don't
Yeah,
like peanut butter.
they will oh god they so I don't think they kind of they will choke at though I just scared to see how Douglas doing. I just hope that all three of them get along now because next year they have to drive with me in the car for eight.
Uh-oh.
You know,
So you should make sure you take them on some test drives, little drives, just to make sure that you're safe.
I was looking, I saw a Subaru ad for their new Solterra, which is their new electric, the about like a Outback. And I was just going through, and they actually have a Subaru branded pet carrier that actually attaches to seat belts.
that's awesome.
The thing was like $250. It was outrageously expensive.
But you know what? That's what it costs a good cage to travel with them. You
But it
think
was
about
yeah, it was really weird. It was round, and you could zip the top off. The top was mesh. You could zip the top off. It was domed, and then the insides bedding came out so you could wash it.
Well,
that's going to be interesting with them.
So what are you gonna do when you're at the art shows? Are you taking them to art shows?
No, next season I bought a camper, so
Cool.
I'm hoping to bring them down with me for the Florida trip because I'm going to be hopefully another 10 weeks down here. So just me and then bring it back up. You know.
You'll just have to train them how to use the cat box in the trailer.
No, I will live in the camper, and because the camper will be my second home down here. So all three of them will stay around in the trailer until I come back. So, but it should be interesting. I know some people bring the cat to the shows or the dogs to the shows, but I don't want to be doing that. I just want them to, you know, try not to have them spend that much time alone. Plus, it costs me a lot of money to have them cats sit all the time when I'm down here. So we'll see. We'll see. Anybody heard anything about La Quinta?
No, actually, I know several people who've done it. I have not. I just saw one person I know post Diane Hardy, but just selling her hats. But I have not seen or heard from anyone about it.
I'd do it again if it wasn't so far.
That's the thing. It's just like Carla posts something that she seems to do well. That was worth
yeah.
the 4
Who did?
drives.
You'll do well, but it's for me it was 3,200 miles.
Yeah, Carla drove from Fort Lauderdale to over there, and that's a 3 days or 4 days.
It's a 4-day show.
Yeah, and
And
she
20
and 3 days drive each way.
and 20% commission.
Yeah.
For me, it was 5 days drive. And the 20% commission, you can easily add it onto your price of your pieces. Those people have a lot of money. Money is nothing. So it's not a factor.
I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with the triangles in Oklahoma City.
Good luck with that. That's the one of the reasons why I stopped applying to that show. Because I cannot display properly.
Oh, the Oklahoma City Festival of the Arts that
Yeah.
Well, it's a challenge, but you know, you have those back walls.
And you can bring panels, if you have narrower
I
panels,
did
you can
that.
bring them out from those walls, and they're not
I
terribly
did that.
strict about extending out a little bit in front of your space.
That's not where the problem is. The problem is when you close it up at night, you have to be
Yeah.
behind.
Or if it rains during the day, you have to have plastic or
No, I never had plastic. Nobody ever bothered me.
No, I had plastic when I was there and it worked great, but because that's extending out in front sometimes is just a great way to get more people into your booth and still be able to display, which is good.
I have a plan. I mean, last time I did it, I way overdid it. Way over engineered it, way overdid it. So I've got a pretty simple plan this time. I just need to decide if how I'm going to attach my cable hangers on the bottom and if I want to go ahead and put up pipe or if I just want to hang off their walls. I found some fairly inexpensive white tarps that I can hang to cover up that sharp black metal that's their walls. I'm surprised they don't send 2 or 3 artists every year to the ER with cuts and gashes from those walls.
It's Oklahoma, you know. I changed the layout for the booth for this show, and I like what I am doing. Instead of putting the French wall into, and I push it all the way to the front, and I managed to put the band in the middle of the tent, and it seems to be much easier to people to navigate inside, and people was walking all the way around. So I'm going to try it again and back up branch to see how that works. But probably will be the way to keep doing it from here on.
I had a problem with the wall at the front of the tent. People wouldn't come in.
Mine is only half of, but I'm in the corner, so it was like 2 L's shapes. So we'll see. That was one show just to see. So we see how it goes. And,
Even last week in Kalamazoo, I had 4-foot shelves across the front and tables on the other side, and almost nobody came in the booth.
Why do you think that was?
So
I don't know. Sometimes people don't want to walk out. They're looking for an excuse not to walk in.
If you have something over $20, it was too expensive for those people.
Ouch.
I would agree that mostly people I was dealing with were looking for like huge deals. And I was selling some really, really old work, like from when I first started like 20 years ago. So I was selling a few things for like $5 and, you know, a lot of people had like really, really like almost giveaway kind of prices.
yeah, I had people that balked at, a $300 print marked down to $40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had some really old rings that were $50, and people were asking me if I was going to be lowering the price later in the day. And I said, well, 40's fine, because I just really wanted to get rid of these. And I kind of felt bad because this lady said, can I pay with a credit card? And I said, no. No,
Really?
on top of that, this great deal I'm giving you, no, you can't use a credit card. So she went and got cash.
I had half of my sales, half my dollar volume was 2 sales.
Oh, wow.
I had a lady that I bought a bunch of stuff from me the first year, came back and bought a bunch of stuff from me again, all different sizes prints. And then I did, right at the end of the show, I sold 1 framed piece. And between those two, that was half my sales.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a couple of bigger customers like that too, because like those $5, $10, $20 things were not adding up very quickly. So
That's
Well,
right.
I couldn't get people even into the booth to look at the $5 stuff.
Well, you're scary, Court.
what
I know.
why I heard you talking about the booth. Was it just maybe the layout of your booth, or it was small,
I don't
or
know. I had
It was the people that came there.
the
I think they pushed the garage sale thing a little too much, because at one time it was just it wasn't really, they didn't really talk about that part. It was more like, well, people have really good work, but it'll be reduced in price somewhat. And
I
Bonnie
think
would say,
people
you don't have.
some people did well with that kind of work. Like I know some jewelers, like if you um that consistently had their best work just discounted a certain percentage, they did well.
Didn't work for
So
me.
I didn't come prepared to sell that way, so I was mostly just trying to get rid of stuff. But
Hey, that didn't work for me, Kristen.
yeah, I know. I I mean, it's never going to work for everybody, I guess, but yeah, there were some people, some jewelers who did well.
Where the last time I did it, it was really good. It was different crowd. The
Yeah.
pre-COVID crowd.
I think it was a different crowd because
Yeah.
the other 2 times I did it, people actually came in and looked.
Yeah.
Now the difference was I had frame pieces and I had a set of 4-foot wide those wire shelves across the front corner of the booth with my frame stuff hanging on it, and then small prints on the shelves behind it. And then down the other side of the booth, going into the booth, as I had a table stacked full of prints. And I had a print bin at the end of it that was right out on just inside my booth. And I had people stop and look at it, but they wouldn't come into the booth, or, I'd tell them, hey, I've got other stuff over here. And, they would just flip through the bin and leave.
Oh,
Yeah. Listen, Kyle Spears had a whole wall of photographs, small photographs for $20 a piece, and people are saying it was too expensive. He did say, or they were hesitating, and he said, well, you can buy it afterwards on my website. And then to me he goes, yeah, it's $145 plus shipping on the website. They're gonna wish they'd paid the $20.
really?
People always say something is too expensive, no matter what price. It could be $20 or $2,000. So
Well,
it's
I don't know.
I love shopping at the garage sale. Like when I'm not doing the show, I've come to shop more than I've actually done it. And I have to admit that just, the number of, you know, amazing deals that you never see anywhere else, those are the ones that I'm kind of snapping up at that time, like the things that are, you know,
but it's meant for that, the garage sale.
yeah, I mean
Actually,
it.
it wasn't for a long time. It was, but she gave it lip service, but really it was about again, she would say, well, you know, you can sell your regular work and you don't have to discount it if you don't want, but you know, but everybody got the idea of garage sale. They would discount their good work out there. There was more good, there used to be more good work. This time it was mostly, you know, stuff left over from World War II.
Yeah, one of my best customers, and I have to admit, this is the only time I've ever done a show where I didn't email my customers and let them know that I'm going to be there, because I was so busy doing other stuff, and I felt really unprepared, and I had no idea what I was even going to sell until like right before I left. But anyway, one of my best customers ever walked right by my booth. She didn't even recognize my, like, I thought, oh, she'll just come back or whatever. She didn't even recognize it. And I have to admit, I was kind of glad, because I didn't have anything that she would have wanted. But it was fun.
Has
Yeah, I
anyone
talked
heard?
to
Oh,
a
go ahead.
couple other people that, Paul and Miranda and somebody else that stayed at Paul's house. Everybody had thought the same thing, that people were just looking for really, really cheap deals. That
Mhm.
was, and that it was a little different crowd than usual.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Anyone?
had, I had them do one announcement for me. I had this sunflower, 4-panel sunflower color, and they did an announcement and only one person came to the booth looking for it. I had these 4 framed pieces and I was selling it for $50. And the
Mm.
lady didn't want to pay it and left my booth with her daughter. And then I saw them walking by about 20 minutes later, and I went out and stopped her and said, okay, I don't want to take this home. Make me an offer. And she
Did
said, well,
she?
will you take $35? And I said, sure. She goes, do you have a bag I
Wow.
can put those in? And I
Yeah,
said,
that would
yeah,
be another 15.
I'll give you the box. And she hands me $40. And I said, let me get you change. She goes, no, just keep it.
Wait a minute, $40 was the original price?
50.
50 was the
Oh,
original
50.
price.
Oh,
She offered
okay.
me 35 and then gave me 40.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, Kristen,
Wacky.
the interest that you pay to the credit card company on $40 is about $1.20.
Yeah. I know. You know what? I thought that was rude of me to snap. I kind of snapped at her a little bit, and I have since felt really bad about it.
You being rude, that's not possible.
I
I
understand though, if you're discounting things, not wanting the fees. I mean,
not wanting to keep getting like one thing after another. Like, well, will you do this? Will you do that? Will you do the other? No, just that's it.
Somebody asked me if I took credit cards, and I said, I have this unusual business philosophy. I make it as easy as possible for people to give me money.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
think
was
I got
selling
all cash. Nobody wanted to use a credit card.
I was selling things that because you're allowed to sell other artwork that's not yours, that you didn't make. You're allowed to do that. So I was selling some old stuff like that too. And I didn't want to take credit cards for that stuff. It wasn't even, I definitely didn't want to take credit cards for that stuff.
Now, all my garage sale stuff is still sitting here in my studio.
For next year.
Because no, I'll be the same problem. I'll be in Florida and I won't want to schlep it down to Florida and then bring it all back and sell it at the garage. I'm not going to do the garage sale. I'm going to stay in Florida.
Well, how are you going to get rid of that stuff?
Wait a minute. Can you see this?
No,
That's how I'm going to get rid of it.
Take it to Florida with you.
No.
Just
Take a
put it in the
picture of
back
it in
your
your
van.
dumpster.
I tell you what, Kristen, I'll bring it to you and you can bring it to me in Florida.
No,
We'll have a nice
I
vacation.
I
What
am
Not a better
always
idea.
storing
Break
people's
it up.
stuff here.
break it up and sell the shards for mosaics.
I'll put it,
people doing
I'll put it in
mosaics.
some jewelry.
I'll give it to you whole, and you can put it in the jewelry. Actually, you know what? They're Kristen. They're nicer than the. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. No, I have some really
Oh.
nice pieces that have like just a little crack in it. They're
Wait
really
a second,
nice.
what were you gonna say?
Nothing. I know you took a crack. I gave you a cracked piece, but I know it was pretty good. So
It is pretty good, and that crack has not gotten any bigger, and I think you gave it to me like 10 years ago.
first one's free.
I'll show you. It's right here in a prominent location in my house.
Prominent. Okay.
Yeah, look. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's right
What
there.
a nice piece.
It is a nice piece.
Yeah, you probably could have gotten about $20 for it at the garage sale,
Well,
but you weren't going to do that. I know.
it's worth more than that.
It definitely is.
I'm laughing over here.
My stuff's all wrapped up, goes back in the same box, goes back to the same spot on the shelf that it's been since
Yeah.
I did the show originally like 5 years ago.
Yeah, really. I love it. I used to have a box of stuff like that.
I don't know if I won't, it'll be maybe a few years before I do that show again, but I'm thinking about doing some new work in smaller sizes. So some of these mats that I have now might get recycled. I usually don't recycle mats, recycle frames all the time, but not mats, but I may end up recycling some of these mats.
Hey,
When
I got a funny story about that. I had the box of pots that I, boxed up, and I was going to sell them at a second sale, and they went back in some storage area. And eventually I went, "Oh, what's in here?" And I said, "Oh, look at those pots." And in those days I wrapped stuff in newspaper. And so the date of the newspaper was 20 years. It was 20 years before the date that I looked at it. So it'd been sitting in storage for 20 years.
Yeah.
I have to go.
I ended up selling. Huh?
Hi.
Bye, Allison.
See
Who's that?
Allison.
Oh, bye, Allison.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I really was happy because all of the old glass that I made in glass blowing classes, like in 1999, I was selling them for between $5 and $20 each, and I had a lot of them. So over 3 garage sale art fairs, it's all gone. Like I've sold all of them that I want to sell. And so that's boxes out of my basement. And what else? Oh, all the glass beads that I make for my jewelry. I had, a huge giant tub of them, and I just sold them cheap. Like most of those really just belonged in the trash, but people picked them out and gave me money, and now they're gone. So it's good for that.
Yeah, the thing that when I get home, I'm going to, if I had time, I need to go to the storage unit and cut a section. I need to go through it and just toss everything out. Just put it in the garbage can. I don't think about it. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that show. Because I'm always down here. And I'm not going to do Waterbury. They drive all the way home and then do that show.
Well,
Mhm.
I actually went to a friend's place in Detroit and then drove over, so it wasn't really out of the way very much. But when I got through with Kalamazoo, I did not want to go get clay. I didn't want to drive the extra, whatever it was, 8 hours to get clay, or 6 hours. So I just came back up here, and I hope I have enough clay for whatever it is that I'm, for Fort Worth.
Can you
So
order it and have them ship
have
it
it
to you?
shipped, maybe.
I know it's expensive, but
It's not any less expensive than the gas in the
Right.
time,
When
Yeah,
do you guys
Paul
leave
got
for-
I timed it just right. I got there after Paul got his big shipment of clay. He got it earlier in the day.
So when you guys leave for Florida? How early?
I live the first week of January.
In Newberry?
I leave at the end of January.
Okay. Because
I do St. Armand's Circle, which is a week before Fort Myers, but I used to leave around February 1st and just do February and March.
there is that ODC studio clearance sale. They moved it back to when they used to have it at the end of January. If you want to get rid of stuff on the way down to Florida.
Oh, yeah. Personally, I'd rather throw it away.
It's just that the problem is like it depends what show you get in more than anything else. And next year I'm gonna have to do some shows with Howard, like it or not. But
Howard shows aren't bad if you know which ones to do and you understand his rules. I mean, he's the same. It's the same for everybody. So
I know. I don't have a problem with the rules. It's just I don't like the morning setup. It really
it's
takes me
only one show.
Well, most of the show that he does is like circle is one of the sections. If you're inside, but if you're in the outside part, you have to set up on Saturday. Coconut Point you can do day before, but that's the only that I can. But there's not that many choices, and then you have to apply so early.
And St. Armand's Circle, it's a day before, but Sarasota, it's 3 in the morning or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I did Boca museums like that, and it takes me 2 days to recover from that.
I know I can't do that anymore.
It takes me forever, and then you get to go out. You finish, you go out to have dinner with friends, and then by the next time it's super late.
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm still tired. I've been back a week, and I'm still really tired.
I don't have to have that luxury. I only have like a week to recover and turn around. I ain't even going to unpack them. I just got to live it.
I have to start working. I have to start making stuff.
I'm supposed to go to pick up an order of mats and phone cord. I don't even want to pick it up until I come back from Houston. Oh, I need to let them know, because it's not going to happen otherwise.
Yeah, see, you're tired too. You're yawning.
No, I have a late. I woke up this morning to photograph. It's a full moon, and I was trying to photograph the moon with behind the palm trees in one section that I know that will happen, but you have to do. It's one of those shots that you have to photograph the moon by itself, then photograph the image, and then sandwich both of them. You can't do it one shot. It's impossible. So it was really obvious at that point when I started doing it. And I don't want to fuss around with that. So plus the moon, it wasn't that close to make a really big moon out of it and put it behind the palm trees. But I really wanted to do it.
What lens were you using?
I was trying to use the 85 so I can get the palm trees in there, but the moon was too out of focus. You only see like a big blur.
You're gonna need something way longer than that.
Like it's 500 or 600 or more.
Yeah, something like that.
I put the 300 and the 7100, which be able to come at 450, and then you lose the palm tree. So it was like at the point I just started realizing you have to do 2 shots.
If you're far enough away from the palm trees, you could just focus on infinity and everything will be in focus.
Everything will be in focus.
Yeah, but I couldn't do it. It was that or being alligator food. So
yeah, that would be fun. It might
Hey,
hurt a
what?
little.
Let's see,
Yeah,
Oscar with a peg leg.
Hey, did you hear about that lady with the alligator?
no.
She had the alligator since it was a little tiny baby. And it was like, it was either 8 or 10 feet long. It was in the Atlanta area and it became too big for her. And it was like 20 years old.
Oh wow.
I thought I saw
Yeah.
some story where some guy
What's-
walked down his front porch in Florida somewhere, opened the door, took a step out and got bitten because there's an alligator sitting right outside his front door and bit him as soon as he opened the door.
That happens.
Yeah, that's one of the things about when I'm in the band. I always look out before I open the door.
Yeah. Alligators like cats too.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And dogs.
Oh,
So we see how that goes.
My neighbors warned me we had a 2.5-year-old female bald eagle, and they told me to watch out with my cat with Gray.
Yeah. Actually, in the camping ground, they said that to put all the pets inside the camper at night because you get owls and everything else.
yeah, owls.
And the other day they found a snake in the camping ground. So, and I know that once in a while they get bears in there. So, and there was a mountain lion that went after a horse. A couple of years ago. So it's a lot of fun to be there.
Mountain lions?
Yeah.
In Florida?
Yeah.
The one time
Yeah.
I've been down in Florida, I had wound up with a rental car that was a convertible, and I'm tooling down the highway. I look over and there's warning signs about mountain lions.
Yeah. There's they call it Florida panthers, but panthers and pumas and mountain lions are the same thing. You know. So
They're just bigger cats.
All right,
Yeah.
I gotta go because I've got a Zoom tonight and I've got some cooking to do. So
have fun. I don't know if I get
I may
tonight.
see anybody that wants join us tonight at 7:30.
Okay. Be good.
Bye.
7:30 your time.
7:30 Central Time.
So if I make it back from dinner, I might join you guys, but I doubt it.
All right.
Because my friend dinner late.
All right. Bye.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Seeing you, Court. Well,
Let's call it.
yeah. And anybody else have anything they want to throw in the pot?
You know, the only thing that I was thinking that somebody told me this week I need to raise my prices. And my first experience I got in Florida was that my prices was too high.
Yeah. I wouldn't raise your prices.
You know, it's kind of like I don't know. I think that I don't know what to do. So it was funny.
Hey,
Other than that,
I asked a question on Facebook today. Somebody said they had a painting priced at $5,200. And she walked away from her booth and her husband sold it for $5,000.
Yeah.
So my question was, do you purposely price it at 5,200 expecting to sell it at 5,000?
No. You
Because-
expect to sell it for 5,200, but you want to make the sales, you take 5,000 without blinking.
Yeah, but 5,200 is kind of like weird.
yeah.
It's symbolic. It's just a
5,200
number.
means
Just
they
put-
want
give it a number.
5,000 for it.
I don't know.
It's just, I mean, It's like people that used to price their work $39.95 instead of $40.
Gas is still like that. What do you mean?
Well, but we don't have a choice.
What I'm saying is that there are people, businesses that still use that.
You
For
mean
some
they use
reason.
that pricing philosophy?
Listen, gas, unfortunately, gas here is higher than anywhere besides maybe California or New York. And it's $3.49.99. Why don't they just say $3.50 flat?
Because it's not $349.99. It's $2 less than that. And the rest of it goes, different taxes go to different places.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't
But
mean
well, it
anything.
does matter because if it was
From the
rounded,
consumer
who would get
point of
that
view.
extra penny?
Yeah, that's true.
They would be
Oh.
fighting over it.
Yeah.
Let them fight it. Let them fight. Throw it in the middle and let them fight.
Yeah. Give
Clean
it
up
to
the
the-
neighborhood.
Give it to the anti-Ron DeSantis club.
I was just going to say, Ron DeSantis needs that penny for his campaign.
Oh God.
Make sure you buy your popcorn when, during the Republican
Convention.
debates,
Oh, the debates? Nah, the debates,
when they go after each other.
it won't make a difference. Unless it's limited to like 3 or 4 people.
It's
They
going
don't-
to be. I just don't even want to think about that. I want a year with no politics.
That's right. It's scary.
You know. Well, guys, I will see you when I see you.
All
Hopefully I see you.
right. Bye,
Me too.
everybody.
Bye.
Time to go.